everyone, welcome to Boston Ramesh channel. This video is part of the ServiceNow Application Development Fundamentals Exam Preparation Series. I am a certified application developer, and in this video, I will go through the topic on event-driven automation. We'll go through setting up an event in the Event Registry, creating a business rule to trigger it, and configuring a script action to handle the responses. So what is event management in ServiceNow? Let me go through this definition quickly. It is a process which will monitor IT infrastructure for any events or alerts in the platform, and it will help to identify and resolve issues proactively. It will also collect and consolidates data from various sources to create actionable insights and trigger automated responses. So in the next slide, we'll go through a mirror diagram, which will help us to actually do a little bit of a deeper dive on the components of this event execution process in ServiceNow. So here is our mirror diagram, event execution in ServiceNow. Let's look at some of these areas. Overview of events. We'll look at a quick definition. What is an event? An event is a trigger that signals a significant occurrence, right? And then once we know what is the event, we need to understand what types of events that we can expect in any platform. But in this service now, we can look at system events, business events, and then scheduled events. Let's look at some use cases and scenarios. In the use cases, we have incident management, change management, performance monitoring, and user notifications. In the incident management, you can expect to see a scenario where an event can actually create an incident. So if there is a performance issue is happening, then if the performance issue is an event, if it is configured as an event, a particular performance issue, then it can trigger something that would create an incident so that the support team can address the issue in the performance. Change management. Again, any event could trigger a change. And then performance monitoring. So if something is really going bad at the database level, if that is an event, then it will check for something and do something instead of just creating an event or incident or anything like that. It can actually do something to handle that issue, and then use the notifications. So not just doing something, it can actually send event notifications. It can be emails or it can be notifications in some other fashion. And then let's look at the event lifecycle here. So what is the event lifecycle? It's about where exactly we need to create the event. That's event creation. Let's look at where. That means it should have a proper trigger condition so that the trigger can create an event. And then it should have payload of what exactly that event should contain. Then how do we process the event? We will put the events in the event queue, and then once these events are in the event queue, then event handlers, which are properly configured, can handle what to do with that event. Event execution. Let me push this out a little bit. All right. So event execution, it can be asynchronous or asynchronous execution. And then execution order, what is the sequence of certain events should execute? That's also configured. Then, as I said, event responses can be email notifications or some other types of script actions. We are not looking into specific event notifications in this video. I will do that in the next video. But let's look at the notification types. It can be email notifications or push notifications. And then to do that, we need to configure these notifications. It can be an email, and then what type of email needs to go out, what it will contain, who will receive these messages. And these are all can be templates. All right, so that's about this. In here, I think this is what we are going to do in the flow of how to do that. The most important thing is we need to add an event to the event registry. That is the table of events. Otherwise, events cannot be registered. If events cannot be registered or not registered, then there is nothing happens when the event is triggered in the system. And then once the event is registered, we need to know when to generate the event and then how to respond to that event. What is the logic to respond to that event, right? It should have an input that is the event generated, and then the event will be in the queue, and then event queue knows what to do because it's already registered in the event registry, and then it also know what script to execute because it is called a script action. It's not this script action is basically specific to the event management, and then it will do whatever it needs to do. From a logic perspective, it will create something, and it can be an output. That is an action. So this is a flow diagram. I'm going to use an example. That example is to trigger an event, and whenever there is an incident that is of the high priority number one, that means a critical one, that do something, right? So for that event registry, we will create an event and register it, and then a business rule on the incident table will fire whenever there is a change to the priority of any incident. That means it will trigger the event. If the event is triggered, then it will go to the event will be put into the queue. That event queue will have certain logic to do what? That's a script action. It will retrieve the incident record and it will update the work notes. That is what we are trying to show in this example in this video, and then we'll get a confirmation. We'll look at it and then the process complete. So this is a flow that we are going to look in this video. That's something I'm going to do hands-on. Please watch it. If there is no triggered event, then there is no action. So that's what I was trying to tell here. Let's get into the hands-on lab. We'll look at it. So the first step is to define a custom event in the event registry. So to do that, let's go to event registry. So I'm going to just type in the registry here, events, and then in the system policy events, this is a registry. So I have created a event in the event registry. Let's open that up and show you. So the suffix is incident underscore high priority. So for the event name, this suffix will add it to the scope of the application scope, which is the table that is created, x underscore snc underscore Boston Ramesh dot inc dot high priority. So that is the whole event name. So wherever we are using, we are not just going to use the incident dot high priority, but we should use the whole event name to refer to this event, which is registered here. So that is the first step. So what's happening with this incident dot high priority is we will be using this as a trigger in our business rule. So the next step is to create a business rule. So let's go to the business rules here. So the idea here is whenever an incident is updated with the priority critical to one, that means high priority, then we want to trigger the event. So here, this is the business rule, high priority incident trigger. So it will fire whenever there is an update happens on an incident record. And what is the script that we are looking at here is we will put a event in the queue so that the script action can actually execute. I will show you the script action after I explain this. So this is the event name, xsnc Boston Ramesh.inc high priority. And then it is going to pull the current sys ID of this. And then this is going to write this particular log into the log when it executes. I put that extra log messages. I was having issues when I'm doing the test here. So I try to put these extra logs for me to go back and look at it, what is happening if something is failing. So that is about the business rule that will create the event, put the event in the queue, and the event will be fired, and then the event will actually kick off a script action. I will show you the script action next. So to look at the script actions, so let's go and type in the script action. So that will be under system policy events script actions. Here I created incident high priority action. So this is basically is trying to, if it is called with the event.param1, that is a sysID. If it is not null, then it is going to update the incident with this particular text in the work notes. So you will see that is updating. So when I go and create a new incident and then update it, you will see this particular message is updated in the work notes. All right. Now let's do the testing. I'm going to create a new incident and then see what happens, because the business rule is supposed to run only when it is updated, not during the creation process. So let's try uh, to update that and see what happens. So I would like to go ahead and create a new incident. This is basically, let's try with Angeline, and then I'm going to create a high priority incident. Short description is, this is event test. I think that's all we need. Let me go ahead and submit it. So I just submitted it and see what is there. So I don't see anything in the work notes updated here. Now, the business rule hasn't really kicked off, because business rule, what we saw was only, it actually only runs when it is updated, not at the insert, right? So that means it will be, you will see when it is updated. Will I go back here, try to change something here, the category to hardware, and I'm going to update it, and I will go back. So it is supposed to have the work notes here. So if you see, the work notes is updated. Took a little bit of time to see it, because the event is supposed to come into the queue, and then it is supposed to execute the script action, and the script action should update the work notes. That's why you saw a little bit of delay in it. Instead of, if it is updated directly from the business rule, the business rule has to update something here, then you would see immediate. So there's a little bit of difference in delay you will see. Let me try that again. You will see what I'm trying to say. So if it is updated, then if it was a business rule that is updating it, you could see it right now. But because if it is an event that is actually triggered, then it took a little bit of time. So this will actually show us how we can create an event, register the event, trigger the event, and the script action will update. This is basically a very simple example. This is updating a work notes, but we can see in my next video about how to send email notifications when something like this happens. So that is how to set up an event-driven automation workflow in ServiceNow. We registered an event, created a business rule to generate it based on incident priority, and configured a script action to update work notes with the incident sysID. By adding the logic to check existing work notes, we ensured that the alert does not get repeated. You may see that code in the video. So thank you for watching this video and following along in the ServiceNow exam prep series. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tips. And if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. And I wish you all the best for your exam preparation. Thank you.